Some opening comments from Coach.
Well, it was an interesting week to say the least, and I think we can put all that to bed and put it to rest, but I'm just really proud of the kids, the way that they came back and prepared and didn't miss a beat. Thought we played well on offense, defense, special teams. Overall, the defense, 14-0, they get a nice drive together, have a broken play for the touchdown, and they get a pick, and right back out onto the field, and they bowed up in that fit situation. I was proud of them, but it was good. It was ran the ball very, very well. There's some really good tailbacks, and let's not forget who's in front of them: the offensive line, the tight ends, the wide receivers, and those fullbacks. Talk about unselfishness. They just keep on working at it, and some talented players back there make some big-time plays for us. I also think Joel checked the run game very well and checked us into some things. Again, that goes unnoticed many times, but that was a positive. So special teams, we kicked the ball pretty good overall, seemed to, and made a few plays. So the kickoff coverage, I think, got better as the game went on, and as we kicked the ball better, the kickoff coverage got better. So just proud of this group of kids. Great crowd today. Exciting for myself, selfishly, to be involved in a Big Ten game for the first time. It's something special out there, as you all know, but I've never had that opportunity until today, so that's a memory I'll cherish for a long time.
Got microphones on each side. Jeff.
Carried through this point in the season, I think you're pretty comfortable that you can run the ball effectively, but there were some pass plays today, that, especially a couple of deep throws that you guys missed. Are you going to need to start converting more of those consistently from the here on?
I would say yes. I don't have the numbers in front of me as far as third down and the throwing and the running, all the stuff that comes with it, but if I just say one thing that we come out of that game that we need to do, again, we need to pitch it and catch it better. And I don't care if it's a long throw, a short throw. There were some drops out there again today that we need to get rid of. So we protected well. It seems like we protected very, very good. I've seen Purdue. I've watched a lot of tape on them. I've seen them give some people some real problems with rushing the passer, and for the most part, we protected extremely well. So we need to throw the ball and catch the ball better without a doubt.
Yes.
You've been a part of a number of teams over your career, but can you recall being around a better running back tandem than James and Melvin have to offer right now?
No. They're very, very talented, and especially with the way they fit into the type of offense. We had a couple years ago, we had 2 NFL backs that were playing for us, and obviously I believe we have 2 NFL backs playing for us now. But just they're so dynamic, their ability to make people miss, and they really kind of complement each other with their running styles, in my opinion. So they're special kids. The third guy jogging out there on the field is not too bad either.
You alluded to the defensive stand that led to that field goal instead of a touchdown. What did you see from Southward where he came up and forced Hunt to lose 2 yards and go out of bounds? It was second goal from the 5, and he gained 5 yards on first down. And it looked like Hunt was going to get outside, and then he didn't.
You know what? I don't know. I would be speaking. I couldn't even tell you what the defensive call was in that situation, and it was on their sideline, I suppose.
On the 5.
I didn't.
No, your sideline.
It was on our sideline.
Yeah.
I must have been giving a drink of water. I can't remember that play. So I'm not going to tell you I know something I don't.
Gary, it seems like a chicken and egg thing. Good coverage in the back end versus a pass rush. What was the equation today? What got the secondary? Was it the secondary that got the pass rush moving in the right direction, or the other way around?
Well, I think we got more push today overall. We had a few more pressures that came clean early, forced him to escape. But the kids rushed the passer better today and had some opportunities to make some plays, and they made them. We mixed a good amount of zone coverages, and we didn't blitz a lot. There was a lot of 4-man pressures that may look like blitzes, but they weren't. So it was a good defensive effort, and I think we just rushed the passer better today than we have in some other games.
Gary, you had so many explosive plays, and that was such a big part of your offense last year at Utah State too. How important is that to what you're doing right now?
Well, it's huge. The chunk yardage on offense, it's hard in today's day and age of college football to go 12 plays and 80 yards and a pile of dust consistently. You've got to have yards in chunks, and we've been able to do that when we've been successful on offense. When we've kind of stubbed our toe and haven't been as effective, we don't see those chunk yardages coming our way. And it's great to have. It's talented young men that can do that. There's a lot of good football players out there, and we need to keep having that happen in our favor as we move forward. And I think the defense is doing a pretty good job of not allowing a lot of big chunk yardage plays.
Gary, how did you want your players to react today? Did you want them to play mad? Did you want them to forget about last week? And what was their mindset?
No, you know, I don't want them to forget. I don't think you ever forget a loss. You learn from it to whatever you have to do to try to learn from it. I've always thought that as a coach, and I always thought that it needs to be communicated to the players. Did I want them to be mad? Yeah, I did. And I think they should be, that should carry them for a long, long time. That should give them a little chip on their shoulder that hopefully it carries them as we continue forward. And we talked about that this morning, and, you know, I still am, and I hope I can keep that edge a little bit more for them. And we talked about it when we left there at Arizona State. This should push us to be a little bit harder, and we should want to practice a little harder, work a little harder, play a little harder, prepare a little harder, and, you know, apparently they did a nice job of that this week.
Jeff?
Gary, you mentioned getting better kicks on kickoffs when you guys made the change. Was that your call, Jeff's call, and did you guys know what to expect from the new kid? Or?
Yeah, well, Endicott has done a good job in practice. He really has. He's had some opportunities. We just felt like, I believe that we're going to be in a better spot when you have a guy kicking the ball off and a guy kicking the field goals. It hasn't been that way so far this year, but right now we're hitting the ball well in field goals, and he just seems clean and consistent, and his extra points are good. The holds are good, and the kickoffs were, you know, pretty adequate. I think we got them up in the air, even when they're going to the wind, we still got them up in the air pretty good, and he pounded a couple of them out of the backside. So it's a tough moment, because I promise you, when he went to bed last night, he had no thought of kicking the ball off in a Big Ten game, and neither did I. For him to have had to do that, he wasn't with us at the hotel, but he had the opportunity to come in and play. So away we go, proud of him.
Gary, as you alluded to, their one touchdown was off a broken play. It appeared like you may have had it defensed properly. Did you see it? Were you going to make the play? Had they actually run the play that you thought they were going to?
Well, I know it was a fly sweep or a power. It was one of basically the two, so they were kind of running the fly and then the handoff, the same play that, you know, we run a lot of times out of that. And I really have no idea. I just saw it kind of open up on the backside. We were in quarters coverage, and we ran across the field, and we had to get cut off somewhere on the backside. I don't know who got cut off or where it was, but somebody in the structure of the defense had to get cut off, and the kid saw the hole and ran it in for a touchdown.
What did you think of Vince Beagle? It seemed like he got some good pass rush, but might have lost contain on the edge a couple times.
Yeah, Vince, this will be a great learning tool for Vince, because he hasn't had a lot of opportunities. BK's taken all his reps, and I'm sure there's some good and bad in there, but I know this, he played extremely hard. I didn't see a lot of blown assignments from him at all, and he was, again, ready for that moment, and that's a credit to himself and the coaches. And he came up to me before the game, said, "Coach, I'm ready to go," and didn't look starry-eyed, and was in the moment. So he did my belief right now, before I watched the films, he did a nice job.
It seemed like your players dealt with a number of injuries this week and today as well. At this point, you have much concern about the severity of those injuries and whether they miss time?
I do. I didn't even talk to the trainers before coming in here, so we'll see, but there's some big shots that we took. Hopefully these kids get back. I don't think anything seems to be a huge problem, but there's some issues out there, and we'll know a lot more tomorrow, early in the first of the week, because obviously we need everybody we can get for this next game.
You back?
Gary, with the friendly running back competition, is it easier or harder for you to kind of pick and choose who goes in, or what plays to run for each running back, or is it a friendly competition?
Well, first of all, that's not me at all. Trust me, Thomas Hammock and Andy Ludwig can do a tremendous job of controlling the running backs and get their reps and build the plays for them, and let them. Those are two great coaches, and they'll get them in the game when they need to be in the game. But there's some different touches, there's some different feel that you do for what they do the best, and again, Thomas and Andy have a good feel of that, and those two kids are very, very unselfish, and they're fired up for each other when things go well, and when things aren't going so good, they look at each other to get it fixed, and it's a friendly competition, and trust me, it is a competition.
Jesse? Oh, sorry. Oh, sorry.
Hey,
Lee.
that's okay. Hey, Gary, do you like where the Ohio State game falls in the schedule? You've got kind of a veteran team, they're dealing with a quarterback injury situation. Is it better to get them early than late, do you think?
I have no idea. You know, it just comes when it comes, and quarterback issue is, or the scenario. The other guy, what did he, 6 touchdowns in the first half or something, so they seem to be firing all cylinders pretty good. But yeah, it's fine where it is. Either way, it wouldn't matter to me when we play them.
Back.
Coach, you touched on it a little bit in your opening statement. How did you feel before the game, and how important was it for you guys to get out to this 1-0 start in Big Ten?
It was big. It was a little antsy before the game for myself, again, because I just, with what had gone on in the past, which is now in the past. And it was just an exciting time to be able to go out and play again. They were money now. They came down, they were nails as far as being focused, and they got themselves in and out of the hotel this morning and were prepared. So I was at peace with myself, and I think I'm always, as a coach, you look at them and try to make sure they're okay. Sometimes you're right, sometimes you're wrong, but they were ready to go, and they make me feel good about this team when you walk on the field.
You mentioned earlier about the pitching and catching, you need to improve in the pass game. More specifically with Joel, it seemed like he had some tough moments. What was your analysis of his play?
Well, I thought he threw the ball sideways real good as far as the bubble screens and the underneath passes. A lot of those, the out-breaking routes, I thought he handled them very, very well. It seems to be the in-breaking routes right now that is an issue, just in a nutshell. We missed the one slant, had a couple of those. We missed the long one. I couldn't tell what happened on the long ball. It's like it was up there forever, and Jared just couldn't quite get his sights on it. But again, we got young men that care. No one cares more about throwing the ball good than Joel, I promise you. He'll work on it. He'll continue to work on it. He is making some very nice throws at times. We're missing on a few that they're not necessarily layups. It's not that easy to just go out there and throw the ball 60 yards down the field and have to get caught. But we'll work on it. We'll be better. He's got good coaches helping him get down, getting the scheme in a good position for him.
Back.
What have you seen out of Borland leadership-wise in the last few games?
Since I've walked in here, I've seen great leadership. Felt like I watched last summer. I felt like I saw him go through 2 summers ago now, I guess. I saw him lead a team that I was getting ready to come in and try to play, and it's done nothing but grow on me. He loves the game of football. Right now, he leads our team in community service hours. He's a senior. He doesn't have to do that stuff. He does it because he knows Wisconsin, he knows football, he's a leader, and our young kids learn so much from that kid. It's amazing. So, tremendous, tremendous leader.
Jim.
Everyone might stop it. Could you tell what happened on the interception? Was he
No.
expecting Wozniak to?
Yeah, I don't know. I think it was, I just heard a little bit over on the phones, and I think it was a zone coverage to a man coverage read, and I'll have to look at that one. I'll have to get the information on there, but I think there was a little bit of a miscue.
Jeff.
I think when we talked to him Thursday, you were hopeful Landish would play, but I guess he did not at all. What did you know he wasn't gonna be available? And just first inclination, I think O'Neal did filling in for him today.
First of all, he could have played. He could have played if we felt like we needed him, but we just did not get into that position. And I felt very good about O'Neal going in there. He's done nothing but play well. It's just nice to have a third guy that you can kind of roll through there. And Landish was ready if needed, but O'Neal was consistent. Proud of that. For him, Ethan came in and moved in and played inside last week, and don't think that he goes home and O'Neal's all jumping up and down and excited because Ethan came in and played inside linebacker. Now he got a shot again this week, and I thought he played well.
Andy.
How much did Purdue's apparent lack of a run game factor into your desire to want to rush the passers and upgrade the pass rush play?
Well, the down and distance were basically when we felt the pass rush. So I think it was just dictated strictly by where they are, where they're sitting, and how things are going for us as far as building a defense around the down distances. Nothing really about the run game. We were stout against the run and got us in positions to be able to rush the passer by what down distance was out there.
Got time for 2 more?
Coach, it seems with the first 4 games, teams' offenses at least made a really big point of attacking guys on the outside edge. What have you thought about your containment, especially the play on the edges by some of the cornerbacks to get off the blocks?
Yeah, we've been pretty solid now. Fly sweeps, people trying to get the ball at the edges. I thought we'd see more bubble screens today. We took a lot of that stuff away from them. The young secondary has tackled pretty well. Now, as soon as I say that, my mind goes right back to the one the soldier missed there in the fourth quarter. That was a bad missed tackle, but I think they've been physical. They've wanted to tackle, which is a good sign. And I think we're snapping off blocks. And our defensive pursuit appears to be very good again this week, and that's a lot of kids that care out there that run the ball well. And missed tackles don't really kill you all the time if you can have people running the football. I think that's what's happening on the edges a lot.
Do you feel any better going into a road game at Ohio State, coming off of a tough road environment last week, at least having gone through that?
Yeah, I do. I think it'll be exciting and it'll be a good situation to walk into. I haven't been there since I went on the recruiting trip back in 1986, so that was a long time ago. So I know it's all changed since I was there. Excited about going in there. It's going to be a great stadium, but the fact that we've gone on the road once and traveled is big for us. And I know it's a tough place to play and what have you, but our kids, they'll be prepared.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.
Will the players